Kia ora, good evening. A severe earthquake struck the south in the early hours of this morning. A 6.2 magnitude quake struck western Southland at 7 minutes past 1 this morning and was felt as far away as Wellington. The epicentre of the quake was located at a depth of 25 kilometres, 125 kilometres west of Tuatapere. Emergency Management Southland says due to isolation of the epicentre and shallowness of the depth of the effects dissipated quickly, there have been no reports of injury. Kiwis are getting stuck into Christmas shopping, with annual spending up 7.7% through the Paymark network over the first 2 weeks of December. Friday the 13th was the busiest shopping day of the year, with over 3.6 million transactions through the network, equalling almost $187 million in spending. Takeaway food was up 10.5% on the same time last year, accommodation spending up over 11%, while restaurant, bars and cafe spending grew 9.9%. Bookshop and video spending fell just over 10%. Paymark, which processes around 3/4 of the country's electronic transactions, saw over $2.2 billion pass through the network in the first fortnight of December. The Labour Party have named their candidate to contest the Clutha Southland seat in 2014. Public health physician Dr Liz Craig has an extensive background in children's health and a focus on alleviating child poverty. Hunter Andrews asked her about her commitment to a seat currently held by National with a healthy 16,000 vote majority.
We've just moved into the area, we've got a little place and we're really committed to actually staying here for the long term. And so we're really pleased to be in the most beautiful electorate in New Zealand and we really love it.
What is your political history or your history with the Labour movement?
I've been a member of the Labour Party for about 4 years. Previously, what I've been doing over the last 10 years is monitoring child health and watching the high poverty rates for children stay that way, and actually watching increases in hospital admissions for infectious and respiratory diseases. So for me, my motivation for standing for Labour is actually the fact that I think as a party it's got the capacity to actually reduce some of those inequalities I'm seeing in my work every day, and I've got to the point where I don't want to be a spectator anymore. I actually want to start stepping up and trying to engage and do something about that. And for me, I see Labour as a great vehicle for that, because it's both got the desire to do something about it, but it's got the capacity, and that it's big enough that you could line up, health, education, social development, all across with a whole framework that could do something about some of the stuff we're seeing nationally, but also locally.
Have you had a chance to discuss those issues with David Cunliffe?
He's very sympathetic to those issues. I've talked to him over a number of years on them, as I have to other members within the party, and we've taken them quite seriously with our previous children's policy, and there'll be another one coming out later next year.
Where to from here? The election's, just under a year away probably. Yeah. Who knows when one could be called, but yeah. Let's say November next year. What for you between now and then?
Well, I think the next 3 months for our team is actually getting out and talking to people in the electorate, because I think while I've got a sense of what some of the issues are, what I think the job of a representative is to actually listen to people's issues and then start to filter down and think, what is it that we could actually do where we got good local partnerships, but then thinking about how you bring in national level policy to actually look at things like regional development, environmental change, those kinds of things. So the next 3 months for me is going to be about touring around, talking to as many people as possible and getting a sense of, if we want representation from the south, what is it that we want to be talking to central government about.
Mary Bradley from Invercargill's SPCA shares her Christmas message with us and reminds us about making sure our animals are well cared for during summer heat and if we're away from home.
We would just like to wish all our supporters and our fans that we have out there, people that come down and adopt from us, donate, a very Merry Christmas and a safe and Happy New Year. And enjoy the holidays, guys.
And you do have some safety messages for animals at this time of year?
Yeah, summer's always a time. Be aware of leaving your dogs in cars. We've had 3 this week already. It's a stupid thing to leave your dog locked in a car on a hot day. Even if it's cloudy, that car will get very, very hot and you can kill your dog. So please be aware. Leave them at home.
And as far as animal safety over the holiday period, if people are away?
Make sure that you let your neighbours know that you're going away and that somebody is coming in and looking after your animal, because we'll get a call that nobody is, find out that there is. So just let your neighbours know. It's also a safety concern about your house as well. But look after your animals over the holidays. Don't go away and have a good time and leave them to fend for themselves.
Although for many Christmas is a time to relax, it's also an opportunity to step up fitness regimes and stay active over the summer break. Sports Southland have some suggestions on how to keep mobile this festive season.
On behalf of Sports Southland, we'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy and active New Year. We've got a few tips to keep you physically active over the break. Tip number 1, choose an event and enter it now. It'll keep you motivated over the break.
Buy your friends and family active Christmas presents like tennis rackets or golf clubs and get out and use them.
Instead of having chocolate in your event calendar, have fun activities you can do with your kids, like handball.
If you're heading away with family and friends for the break, make sure you pack your mountain bikes and your running shoes and be active.
And the last tip, Southland has the longest daylight hours. So let's get less time inside and get outside. Let's have fun in the sun.
Merry Christmas!
And before we break, a small correction. We ran a story last night reporting that the musical performance at Invercargill St Mary's Church on Sunday was Bach's Christmas Oratorio. However, it was in fact Handel's Messiah that was performed. Stay with us. After the break, we gaze upon the festive lights of Gimlet Street. Welcome back. Every year, thousands of Southlanders visit a quiet Invercargill cul-de-sac to get into the spirit of Christmas. Each December, Gimlet Place comes to life with residents hanging thousands of Christmas lights and decorations. Local resident Dave Connor started the tradition about 15 years ago and has seen many houses join the festive celebration over the years. He says on a busy night, thousands of people will come to gaze at the lights and decorations. The weather has been favourable this year and thousands more are expected to visit the lights before Christmas. A special Southern Social Sports Club is celebrating 20 years of friendly competition, cups of tea and get-togethers. Here's Hunter Andrews with more.
The social wing of Table Tennis Southland is alive and well and has been ready to prove it twice a week for the last 20 years. Organiser Dawn Wood says social table tennis is less about the competition and more about getting together with good friends.
Well, it was started 20 years ago and we play every Tuesday and Friday mornings from 10 till 12. And it's open to anyone, mainly more retired people, and we're a very happy and friendly group.
Gordon Surgener has been playing the sport for just a year and rates his ability as average. He's a big fan, however, of the social aspect.
Well, I'm pretty average, but I'm doing very well. I've learnt a lot, I've learnt a lot.
And I mean, I guess a big part of this club is the social side of it as well.
Excellent, yes. We have a cup of tea down there, halfway through, cup of tea, and someone then tells a few stories, funny stories, then we go back on again.
Are you a player yourself?
Yes, I am.
And how are you ranked?
Average.
How seriously competitive does it get?
No, we don't have competition. It's just friendly games. But there's a lot of friendly rivalry, I must admit, but no competition.
88-year-old former merchant naval seaman Tony Johnson has been part of the social table tennis scene for 18 of the 20 years.
Well, I retired when I was 70 and I came here to play table tennis, to keep exercise. And it's a great exercise for eye and hand, and brain work, and it gets your blood pressure up. And so it's very good for that, and I really enjoyed it. It's a great social occasion, a wonderful bunch of people, and we play twice a week. And it's cheap, it's only $4 a time. We get a cup of tea, and so it's pretty good.
What was were you a sportsman in the past?
Not really, no. I used to work at the radio station at Dacre when there were married men there, and we had a table tennis table in the transmitter hall. So we used to play there, and that's where I started to play. I never played in a club or anything like that.
And if you think 88 should be a time of sedate retirement from sport, then you couldn't be further from the truth, as the Battle of the Atlantic veteran is quick to point out.
I just watched a film last night called Ping Pong, and the oldest player was a lady of 100. And several of the men were in their 90s and they had puffers. And by the time they'd played a game, they'd absolutely had it.
So quite inspirational, and you see yourself going.
Yeah. The old lady at 100 was amazing. Yeah. It's a veterans competition throughout the world in China and Germany and UK.
There's around 50 social table tennis club members, but I'm assured by Dawn Wood that there's always room for more. Hunter Andrews, South Today News.
Delightful story. Local authorities will be enforcing new alcohol legislation that requires bars to close earlier and restricts the sale of liquor at bottle stores and supermarkets. The Sale and Supply of Alcohol Act comes into effect from midnight tonight. Under the legislation, the latest closing hour for bars and pubs will be 4 a.m. and supermarkets and bottle stores will not be able to sell alcohol from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Also revised under the legislation are the definitions of intoxication indicators, including slurred speech, spilling drinks, stumbling or tripping, being aggressive or rude, or indulging in inappropriate behaviour. A person displaying such behaviour can be removed from a licensed premises. The Sale and Supply of Alcohol Act comes into effect from midnight. Budding actors, singers and performers are honing their skills this week at the Speak Up, Sing Out holiday program. The program, run by Southland Entertainer of the Year Alice Fraser and teacher Miriam Erickson, is intended to inspire children who love drama and singing and increase their confidence when performing in front of others. The Year 1 to 8 students were today writing and rehearsing mini musicals with themes as varied as Marooned on an Island and Forgetting Homework. Dana Lutzenberger is back for her second Speak Up and Sing Out. She's written a mini musical of her own.
Today we were doing a play and we were going to do a mini musical and so I decided to play and we all decided on mine.
And what's your play about?
It's about we're hunting for a bird and there's lots of traps to try and stop us, but we help each other go through the traps.
And that's it from News Desk tonight. Sport is along next from us. Good evening.